Well, I think there are a number of examples of the way in which, in terms of research, service users have been involved in. Mark here has got a lot of experience in terms of trying to make that a reality, and other people like Peter Beresford and Susie Croft and a whole range of others are trying to do this in a genuine kind of ways to allow space for people to determine what their needs are. The research from Carol Truman that I gave you earlier was unique in that the particular group commissioned the research, and so they were in complete control of how that research was going to be done. And they used her knowledge, her expertise of different research approaches in a way that helped them to meet their particular ends. And in that case, one of their particular ends was to persuade funders that they needed more money to carry on their work. And they knew that funders would be persuaded by large-scale surveys rather than small-scale qualitative research. So that's an issue about who controls it. But at the end of the day, it has to be a dialogue, and the struggle that's involved with that and the different perspectives that come as a result. But I think there are examples around of an authentic way of working together with service users that we should be able to draw on. Do you want to speak?
Well, yeah, I mean, I could just say very quickly that the piece of research that, the main piece of research that Beth was referring to as a piece of research which I was involved in, there was a day centre for people with learning difficulties wanting to kind of develop the daycare service from a traditional one into something which more met the needs of the people there. And we actually constructed the process of development and evaluation as a piece of participative action research, and which involved everybody who worked and attended the day centre. It was a fascinating project, and I don't need to go into huge details, but just to say that after a lot of really hard and very sophisticated work, particularly by the staff working there, people who had been totally denied a voice, so they had no idea what a choice was, you know, in this day centre, actually had their voice heard, and the day centre did develop in a way which was much more representative of their expressed needs. And just to say another thing about the research methodology is that I've also used participative action research in working with, I have been allowed to use this in social services departments in England with teams of social workers to investigate their practice, and they have become opportunities for, at the very least, critical reflection upon their practice in their organisations, and but also opportunities for resistance within their organisations. And I find that really interesting that social services departments are allowing academics to come in and do that with their staff. It's very different to, you know, what Ian was saying, where the time I can remember where we had to call them union meetings or lunch meetings in order to be able to talk to other people in other teams where I used to work.